share my music.
Alright, hey guys, this is gonna be my tutorial on After Effects. This is for people who are new to After Effects or like just recently got it. So if you know the basics, I wouldn't be watching this video. Well, I'm gonna put in some had to make some smooth shape rotations and stuff like that. So basically, if you know most of After Effects, you might not want to watch this video. So, okay. Well, when you first get After Effects, you're gonna start with something like this. It's just gonna be, blank, and you're gonna notice that you can't do anything really. You really can't do anything. So what you first have to do is start a new composition. It's like starting a new project. So, it's kind of like an analogy is like you can't write if you don't have any paper. And so this is why you got to get your paper by going to new composition, or you can just click on Control N as it says right there. Okay, so you can name your paper whatever you want. I'm just gonna do this. I'm just gonna make it like 10 seconds, I guess. Yeah. Okay. Yours isn't gonna look like this. It's because I have this on. Okay, so next you want to have a solid. So what I did is I just right clicked, went to new, and solid. And you can name this whatever too. I'm gonna make this like a red solid, I guess. Okay. And you always usually want to make it comp size. You don't have to, but what it does is it fills the whole screen, so you won't get too big or too small. So comp size. So here it is. Let's make this fit to 100%. Okay, so here's my background. If you want to change the color of your background or your solid, which is basically what this is right here, you go to up here, you go to layer, solid settings, or Control Shift Y, and you have the same exact thing, except you can just change it like that. Okay, so now I have my thing. Actually, to rename it, you click enter and type in whatever. I'm gonna name this background. Okay, now I'm gonna add some shapes. So you can either go to new and shape layer, or you can just take in right here. Okay, so you can get these other shapes by holding on the shape right here. I'm gonna introduce you to these tools. Okay, so the selection tool, basically clicking on this will get you that. It's just clicking on certain things on the screen to isolate that one shape or whatever it is. The hand tool moves it around so you can get certain parts, and you can scroll. If you have a scroll thing on your mouse, you can just zoom in, or you can just click on this zoom tool and zoom out, and yeah, or you can just use this. So fit it back to 100. This is a rotation tool. This is for objects only. So you can just rotate like this way, and yeah. And if you made a mistake, you just click Control Z, or you can do undo, edit, undo. Okay. This is your camera. I'm not going to get into this, but this is for 3D objects. In this video, we're just going to be using 3D objects, or I mean 2D objects. So, yeah. This is your pen tool for masking. I'm just gonna tell you guys the basic stuff. So masking, basically cutting out objects and such. So it's kind of like scissors. So I'm gonna cut out a box. It's not gonna be perfect, but there. Now, what you did is you just created a mask onto this object. If you press this arrow right here, it's gonna say mask. Okay, if I do Control Z until there's no mask, as you can see right here, the mask is gone. If I click here, you have a mask. It's not a complete mask until you click every single point until the last point reaches your beginning point, like that. And what you can do is you can go to your mask right down here, and you can change it to subtract or add. As you can see, add meaning the inside has whatever you're masking, subtract outside, intersect. It's basically like, well, actually, I don't even know these ones. Well, none is none, so I usually just use add and subtract. Yeah. So just deleted that mask by pressing backspace. Okay, now let's get down to business. Okay, let's make a simple intro. Yeah, you're gonna have to create one using this tool up here. So I'm gonna use my star tool. Actually, I'll use my polygon tool. And as you can see, it's right here. Yeah, same thing with the colors. Okay, so for other shapes such as like rectangles, as you can see, it's not really a perfect square. Or so if you wanted a perfect square, what you're gonna have to do is hold shift, then press, and no matter how many like where you put it, it's gonna be a perfect square in any direction. So yeah, and same thing goes for the other shapes. So let's do something with this polygon right here, polystar. Okay, so I just brought down the menu right here. I'm gonna change the stroke, which is up here, which is, as it says, white, and I'm going to make it a little bit bigger, like 6. As you can see, oh, let me put this to full quality so it's easier to see. Okay. As you can see, you can now notice the stroke. Now, what I like to do is with my intros is like I kind of like to keep it clean. So, what I'm gonna do to this is I'm going to go to dashes right here, and I'm gonna click plus. As you can see, what happened is now they're all like cut, and you can make them you can add more dashes by pressing plus again. But there's no reason to do that unless you're trying to like have one that's big or in one that's small. So right, with the dash you can change the width, or like how big each dash is. And as you can see, the higher I raise it, the less dashes there are, and the more bigger they are. Okay, and I'm gonna keep it at 16. Actually, I'll keep it at let's do 10. Yeah. The offset is rotation. Okay. Yeah. Now stroke width. I'm gonna change this back to 3. Make it look a little bit better. Okay. So, oh, this button right here is as you can see, it says toggle mask and shape path visibility. So if I make a thing right here, these things sometimes get really annoying, and so you can like turn it off by pressing this. See, the blue is gone. But yeah, so I'm just pressing Control Z. So with this intro, what I'm gonna do, or with this shape, what I'm gonna do is make a simple intro. So I'm gonna go to transform and rotate it until it's perfectly fine, like right here. Okay, phone's ringing. Okay, now next to each, almost everything, they have these like stopwatches. So basically, if I click on this while the rotation is at 20, and then I move to 2 seconds, here's 2, and I change it to, let's say, 60, what it's going to do is it's going to animate from this first point to the second. Okay, every time I change it, it's going to add another point. Even if I do 60.1, as you can see, it does another point. Okay, so if I just run through this, yeah, okay. As you can see for the rotation, there's like 0x and then 59.3 degrees. Okay, everybody knows that a full circle is 360 degrees. Okay, so basically having it like rotate in a full circle is 360 degrees once. So when you go to 360, this 0x is going to change to 1x. So this determines how many times it spins in a 360. So I'm going to do 360 and change to 1. Or if I want it really, really fast, okay, so I'm going to delete these keyframes. And right here, it starts at 20. I'm going to go to 2 seconds. And I'm going to change this to 4. So it's going to spin 360 4 times in 2 seconds. If you want this to look really cool, you can, there's going to be a button called toggle switches mode. So if you click it on when it looks like this, you can activate motion blur, contrast, and 3D. We're going to get to those in later videos, but we're going to work with motion blur. And when you switch it back to this, these are just like parenting, so I'll explain that later, and I'll explain this one later too in a different video. So we're just going to learn with motion blur. So if I click motion blur right here, this activates all motion blur. And I click it here, this now has motion blur. So basically, if an object is moving fast enough, it's going to have blur, so it'll just be more realistic. So I'm just going to play this right here. As you can see, it's blurring already because it's really fast. So pressing the space bar is play. Okay. That is 4 360s in 2 seconds. I just want to bring this to 1 second to see how it looks like. Huh. Okay. So, there's a thing called easy ease. So, these keyframes, what's going to happen is it's going to smooth everything out. So, like, it's going to smoothly transition in and smoothly transition out. So, like, right before it stops, it's going to slow down before it stops. So, kind of like when you run and you reach the finish line, you don't just, like, stop. You kind of, like, walk it off. And basically the same thing for the first keyframe. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your mouse, you're going to click it, and highlight these two keyframes. Then you're going to press F9, or you can just right click, go to keyframe assistant, and go to easy ease. Okay, so now they're just going to ease out. So I'm going to press the space bar. Okay, let's replay that. Huh, pretty cool. Okay. Now let's add a little bit more flavor in this intro. Okay, so let's start off with let's bring these, actually, let's extend this last keyframe to the two set. Oops. They're both highlighted, which is why I dragged them both. So, just gonna bring this over here. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna start the scale at 0. Okay. I can keyframe the scale to make it come back to 100, but instead of making 100, I'm gonna bring it to 1.5 seconds. And I'm gonna bring it to 120. Okay. I'm gonna go to 2 where it stops rotating, and I'm gonna bring it back to 100. So what's gonna happen is it's gonna pop out and slowly pop back in. If I bring it really close, it's gonna pop back in really fast because there's less time to do it. If I bring it over here, it's gonna pop out really fast, then pop in really slow. I kind of want it to pop in like kind of slowly, but pop out fast, or pop out slowly and pop in faster. So I'm pressed play. Okay. Let's bring the rotation down, actually. Bring it to 1. Actually, yeah, just 1. See what this looks like. I'm also going to turn off motion blur, because, well, I want to kind of see it clearly. Yeah, it looks okay. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go back to the stroke, and I'm going to go to the dashes and turn on the offset, which is basically rotation. So by clicking on the keyframe and going to, let's say, 4 seconds. So while it stops spinning, the dashes are still going to be rotating. So let's see. 60. So it's going to rotate, not 60 times around, but basically just like, as you can see, it's rotating. And if we make it faster, that's going to rotate bigger. If we make the number bigger, the rotation is going to be faster. So let's do 120 instead. Let's see here, how does that look? Okay. Oh, I just closed it out by pressing this arrow and play. I guess it's pretty cool. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this object by pressing Control D. Okay. I'm going to put this, okay, in order, the bottom of this whole list is what's under everything. Whatever's at the top is on top of everything. So I'm going to put this under this one. Let's name these so we don't get confused. So enter polygon top, and this one polygon bottom. Okay. Basically, since I duplicated them, they take all traits and therefore are moving exactly at the same time. Now, if I move this forward, then both of them aren't exactly moving at the same time anymore. Okay, so as a transition, I guess I'm going to put them into one group. So by highlighting them both, I will do Control Shift and C. And I'll name this, yeah. Okay, so basically whatever I do to this like group, it's gonna happen to both of them. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Um, yeah. So, if I want to change anything in that group again, just double click. Okay. And there it is. I can go back by clicking up here. These are my two groups. This is the one I made at the beginning of the video. This is the one I just made like 10 seconds ago. Okay, so for it to transition out, I'm going to have it start at 2 seconds. I'm going to keyframe the position, and it's going to come out at 3 seconds. Well, I'm going to make it come out. So I'm going to change the x-axis to, well, actually, let's make this smooth. So I'm going to bring it to right here, and it's going to go this way. Then, at 3 seconds, it's going to come out of the screen like this. Okay, pretty cool. Let's watch this. Okay. Okay, well, we can add stuff like color correction. So basically, I'm going to go to New and Adjustment Layer. This usually goes on top of everything because it just changes what everything else looks like. So I'm going to go to Curves. This is my effects panel. For most people, I'm not sure, it's going to say effects and presets. I'm not sure where it's going to be for you guys, but I moved mine over here. But if you lose yours, if you can't find it for some reason, go up here to Window, and it will say Effects and Presets. Okay, so if I accidentally press like X on character, and I want to get character back, here, wait. I'm gonna go to Window. Where's character? Right here. It's gonna pop up somewhere on my screen. Oh, there it is. Came back. I want to bring back effects and presets. Oh, there it is. Okay, so I can search for any effect in After Effects and use it on anything. Well, basically, yeah. So I'm gonna use curves. This is basically a color correction. As you can see, it's in the color correction folder. You can actually, instead of searching them up, you can just like look for whatever you're looking for. Like, I'm looking for color correction. If I click on this arrow right here, it has all these different things. So I'm looking for curves. Here it is. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna take curves. I'm gonna drag it onto my adjustment layer. And if you guys know how to use this, well, okay, so my basic thing to make brighter colors more bright and darker colors more dark is putting this one in the first square and bringing it up to there. Taking this one that was on this, like down the square down here, and bring it to here. So it's shaped like an S. And basically it just makes everything look better. That's the basic thing. I'm gonna make this glow also, because there's some basic things. Put this on top of the adjustment layer. And now this is going to glow like, as you can see. So let's play this for the last time. Okay, pretty cool. So that's basically how you make a 2D intro. Yeah. Um, yeah. You can add lots of these if you want. I'm just gonna duplicate like 50 of them. Well, like 6 of them. I'm gonna have them over here. Have them over here. Have them over here. Have them here. Okay. So, okay. Play. Oh. Cool. It's really laggy for 2D. Yeah. So you make a basic intro. Okay. That's it.
Man, I go to work, true winner. Jeans skinny, like Squidward. Looking for your girl.
I'm trying to get wet.
You can just like walk.
Here, I'll start the chain. No, it wasn't. You make these logs look like clouds.